Hey guys! Wait, I want to turn on a light just so the lighting is just spectacular as I film this video for you guys. You know, I was just not, I was about to fall into my bad habit of just like skipping a week/weeks of uploading, but I was gonna like skip this week because I had no content filmed that I wanted to upload, right? Like, I was trying to film a last minute, like, day in my life of, like, college life, but I was like, wait, why don't I just film the video that I said I was gonna film? Like, I continue to put it off. So, here's me doing that. This is the video you guys were waiting on and you were expecting. It's the college, like, first semester update video where I've been. Hello. Before we get started, I wanted to quickly show you guys something. Actually, there's two things, but the first thing is, get ready. I just got this today and I'm so excited to rock it. It's Let Black Women Be Unapologetic, Expressive, Brave, Soft. Period. And do you guys see this color? It's like an off-white. It's like a yellowish color, but also kind of like beige, but not really. I don't have a lot of shirts in this color, so I was like, why not? And it's beautiful message, right? Like, 'tis the season. It's Black History Month. January was, wow, that was a long month. But anyways, I'm excited for Feb. The season of love as well. I'm all for February. I know February gets a lot of hate because it's like singles awareness, but then also like couples awareness. But like, why not self-love awareness? Can we talk about that? Like, what? I'm here for it. I love February. I'm such a lover, like, at heart. I'm such a lover. Like, what? When I lock in, I lock in. But we're not locking in this season. We're locking in on ourselves. So we're focusing, giving more love to ourselves, because I sure as heck need to work on that. But that's a whole different video. That's not what you guys came for. So let's get on track. Okay. So the first question is, has the independence been good for your faith? If so, how? Yes. I feel like it's been allowing me to explore whether my Christianity is truly mine. Because I don't know if you're like me, I grew up in the faith my whole life. That's all I've known in terms of, yeah, like, that's the religion I've been introduced to, day dot. So I never really got to explore it for myself in terms of like outside pressures. So being alone has helped me reevaluate whether it is for me, and like if I honestly do want to continue with my faith and grow in my faith. I feel like it's done exactly that. Being away, I had my doubts, honestly. Initially it was rough, I can't lie. The first month or two I was like searching for churches, but then I was also not living a life of Christ. Like, Miss Girl I had like my morals really twisted. Like, in terms of like just a day-to-day, I was like, first of all, I don't know what came over me, but all of a sudden, profanity just entered the chat. Like, I was just a sailor. Like, I was cursing heavily, I can't lie, right? And I think it was like, oh, I'm going to a secular school now. Like, I kind of have to, like, it was the pressure of, like, wanting to fit in. So it was like, let me just, like, change myself a little bit and, like, add this in. But it was, like, a negative thing in my eyes. As of recent, I've been intentionally trying to strive to not do that in the slightest. Like, I mean, I have some days where it might slip, but I am intentionally trying to not say bad words. So that's like one example of like where I started in my faith with being away from, you know, my parents, my family, and that community, that Christian community. But I will say I kind of locked in near the end of first semester, and I was like, no, like, I actually want to have a relationship with God. And even I feel like at the end of 2023, something came over me. I think being back in the community I was raised in, with like being back with my family on Christmas break, reconnecting with especially like my older brother Kidus. He is a strong man of God. Him in particular, he really did help me like redirect where I should be in terms of like my morals and where I know I'm meant to be, right? And so we had a lot of like very insightful conversations about faith and Christ and everything, and just the Bible in general. Even now, like since being back, I've implemented, especially over the break, what I was implementing was, first thing I do when I get up, pray. I've tried so hard recently. First thing, making it a habit is pray to him. He's the first person I should be having a conversation with, period. So that's one thing I've been doing. And then I try to read some scripture. So recently I've been reading Psalms. I'm currently at chapter 106, I believe. So I have a few chapters left of Psalms. Psalms is long, but it's such a good book. I love the book. Honestly, would it be a place I'd recommend people to start? No. Yes and no. I had a conversation with Kidus, and what a lot of believers say, though, is you have to start in the Gospels. If you don't know what the Gospels are, they're Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, right? So I was talking to Kidus, he said, whether you're a believer, non-believer, where you're at your faith journey, start in the Gospels. So that's one thing I'm like, oh, maybe I should have, but hey, do I have any regrets? Not really. So I like the book of Psalms, but next thing, like, for me is definitely getting back to the origin story. Hello, it's the origin. It's what makes me a Christian. That's why I should start there. That's the reason why I should be believing what I believe. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, yeah. How is my faith going? Has it been good? It's been good. And I'm working on it daily, but it's definitely on an upward climb. And I found a church friend, like, at the end of first semester. So the timing was a little bad, but we went to church for the very first time. Like, the very first week we were back, we were like, let's go to church together. So we went to a church, and I like it a lot. The community is cool. The pastor, that pastor spits. Oh my gosh. He spits. Yeah, facts. Anyways, next question. Do you miss being in high school? Yes and no. I do miss my high school in the sense of, like, its community, the people, the education, everything. I feel like it's an all-rounded school, and it was centered around Christ as well, because it was a Christian school. And so in that sense, I definitely do miss it. In terms of some of the people and relationships I did have in high school, some of them I do not miss, to keep it a buck. But they did teach me a lot about, like, what type of person I am and what I look for going forward. And I do respect those people. It's not that I have a lack of respect for them or empathy for them. It's just, there were some things where I was like, yeah, that's my last straw. Like, disrespect after disrespect. And it's okay. Like, I just want to put that to bed, and I don't want to have any more animosity towards them. We've parted our ways. We're separate now. But overall, it was just a few select people that I had those issues with. But regardless, other than that, love everyone. Cool people. But yeah, in that regard, I probably wouldn't want to go back to those times, because it was quite lonely, especially like my senior year was very lonely. Like, I felt like a popular loner. Like, I was a floater for a lot of high school, but like I kind of also did have a friend group. Like, I'm not trying to like discredit that. I did have a friend group, but yeah, it just didn't work out at the end of the day. So love y'all though. Hey, I wish you all the best. Genuinely, I do wish everybody all the best. I'll put it at that. But yeah, Top 2 countries you've lived in. Kenya. I mean, I rep them every day. Hello? Hello. Yeah, Kenya has to be number 1. And then I would say the US. Because especially when I was here during like my vital like childhood years, like I was literally born in this country. Hello? I've like moved and like came back, so it just gotta be there for in terms of like timing and stuff like that. It's just, I miss the good old days. I miss the good old days. They were so nice. So yeah, Kenya, US. Okay, life in uni and what you're studying. So life in uni is interesting. We'll get into that later because there's another question similar to that, so I'll expand on that. But what I'm studying criminology, and I have a minor in psychology, so yeah. Advice, especially for first semester, meeting people and like my experience. Okay, one thing I will say is put yourself out there. But just know if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. Like, if you don't have any friends first semester or you feel very lonely, trust me, everyone's felt that way. Unless you're just a different breed and you're just deluded in some ways. Because what? First semester, a lot of people don't really want to talk about it, but first semester is very, very, very lonely. Because, like, first of all, it's a new environment. Second of all, you're separated from all the people that you initially knew, whether you like it or not. So you're also kind of mourning that because you're like, I kind of miss my family. I kind of miss my friends. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't hit the same. So just be ready for that. In terms of meeting people, yeah, I just say just try to put yourself out there as much as you can. And I know that's like a generic response to that, but like there's no other way to put it. Like, you're gonna be uncomfortable. Just get comfortable with being uncomfortable because it's inevitable. That's the only way you're gonna be able to grow. So that's my advice on that. How did you go on about your uni application? So, okay, I actually had like 2 drafts for my uni application. There was one assignment for English where we kind of had to do another uni application, but I don't really count it. So technically I did 3. But in terms of like ones that I intentionally wanted to like have as my application essay, I did 2 drafts of it, like 2 completely separate essays for uni. Because the first one just didn't work out. The second one was the one that I ended up going through with. And what I talked about was relationships and just like honestly, like my life and how moving around has affected my relationships, not fully settling in one place. I did talk a lot about being comfortable with being uncomfortable in the sense of like having to move and pick up your stuff and like go from country to country, and the beauty of like just acclimating and adapting to several different cultures. And so that was like the gist of my college application essay. And honestly, I'm blessed to be able to say that I've had that type of life up until now. Like, what? I'm only 19, turning 20 this year, which is crazy. But at my young age, the fact that I can say I've lived in 5 countries is both a flex and kind of sad at the same time of like, oh, you've moved around that much. But I feel like I see it in a positive light for sure now because it taught me so much. So yeah, that's basically what I went on about in my essay. How's uni's expectations versus reality? I feel like, okay, going into uni, since I had such a bad like senior year in terms of like my relationships, I just felt very disconnected from a lot of people that I was friends with or like close with, right? I was like it was weird, but I was very optimistic and like excited for uni because I was like, I need to get out of this community. I need to find new people. I need to find a new place. I need to find a place I can call home in terms of like the community. And so my expectations was I was for sure gonna find that. What do you mean? Like, uni's like what it is in the movies. Like, I'm gonna find my life hood best friend. Reality? Honestly, I did find friendships, can't lie, but were our morals aligned in a lot of those friendships? But some of my friendships morals were there. They were there. But it's just like I feel like a lot of the friendships I'm in currently, I just don't feel like people appreciate me as much as I appreciate them. I feel like I'm so loving of them, but it's not being reciprocated in the same way. Or there's certain high expectations I have of people that are just not being met. And honestly, I could say the same for myself. Like, maybe I'm not meeting the expectations they have of me, but yeah, it's just not it, honestly. But I will say, this semester, I feel like I have like one or two people I can be like, I guess we're friends or we're close. But I found comfort in, like, if those friendships don't work, it's not the end of the world, honestly. And that's one thing I'm glad I've learned. Because I used to put my value in friendships heavily. Like, I thought it was the end of the world if I didn't have friends, which is insane. But I feel like my relationship with God has definitely helped me realize, oh, it's okay if you're alone. Like, you don't need friends. All you really need is your family and him. So I'm content. I'm fine. Next one. What are your thoughts on the concept of New Year's resolutions? Okay, I like the concept of New Year's resolutions, but do I think they're effective? Not really. Because I feel like the concept is honestly good, positive, where it should be, but I don't think they last in terms of, like, when you say, again, it depends on the person, the way that you are, but knowing me, I can't, like, sit down and, like, write down, like, oh, this is what I'm gonna be doing this year. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I mean, I wish I was that way, but I feel like if I write it down or try to verbally put it out there in the world, there's an evil eye. Like, I feel like I'm jinxing myself. Like, I feel like it never really works out for me. And I'm usually an optimistic person, but yeah, that's it. But I do intentionally try to live out things, and I do have goals and aspirations, and so I feel like it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be at the start of the year that I'm like, oh, all of a sudden I'm gonna do this and this. No, I'm gonna try to implement that anytime and try to start a new skill or hobby whenever. So yeah, it's a cool concept, but not really for me. Was it hard settling into a new state alone? Yeah. Yep, can't lie. Initially it was, but I feel like after, like, it wasn't as hard as I expected in some ways too. Like, I did find instances where I was like, oh, I'm kind of lonely, but, like, overall it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, and I found some beauty in solidarity, I can't lie. So yeah, there was culture shock for sure. I know that's interesting coming from me, and that's rich, because, like, as I said before, like, I was born in the US, whatever, but it's not the same as when I was living here, like, years ago as now. Obviously, like, there's been changes, there's been new things about this country and this continent. And Nebraska, there's not much to do here in terms of, like, activities, like weekend things to do, apart from, like, clubbing, which is far from what I want to do, at least now. And then there's, like, very expensive coffee shops in my area, but it's like, I'm not made of money. Hello, I'm a college student. I'm not going to be going there every weekend. Like, of course, maybe I'd want to, but that's just not the reality of it. And malls are very far away from, like, where we're at in Lincoln. Like, in terms of like, it's not walking distance, like it's a 10-minute drive, but that translates to over an hour of walking time. And I don't have a car. And I'm not about to call up a friend just so that I can use them so that they can give me a ride to the mall. I have no need. Like, I don't need to be at the mall like every weekend, you know what I mean? But there's not much to do. I mean, there's a cinema. I went there actually last week, which was fun, for the very first time. Mind you, I've been in this state for a little over 3 months now. And last week was the first time I went to the cinema. And I went by myself. It was a solo date. It was fun. But yeah, it was low-key hard because it's like completely new, but fun. Fun. Good. It taught me a lot. Best thing about uni: independence, being alone, which is crazy to say, but it was definitely a reality check, and it was a good one. It was a harsh but good one. Like, I needed it. Uni update. New Year resolutions, personal goals, etc. So I kind of feel like I've already kind of addressed that. For personal goals, I don't really like to air out my personal goals to the internet or to anyone really, because there's actually big haters out there, and so I don't want to say. You'll just have to wait and see. I think that's it for this video. I need to go somewhere. I actually just came from an interview. I had an interview. I can't say for what, but it was I think it went really well. I really hope I got the position. I hope it went well. I really hope I get it. Like, what? It was so fun. But yeah. Oh, by the way, I do want to film like a day in the life or like a week in the life. So let me know if you guys want to see that. Like college, you can like DM me. Because a lot of people have just been DMing me. So DM me if you want to see that. Or comment down below, I guess. And yeah, that's it for this. See you guys next week.